Hello and welcome to today's meeting. It's Friday. We all survived the week. We're all looking forward to the weekend, but as Rotarians, we love every Friday because we meet at noon here and get to enjoy each other's company. So welcome to today's August 22nd meeting. If you will all rise and greet your fellow neighbor and members and guests.
Let me look real quick just to make sure. Yeah, it's 18th.
Okay. Ask Susan if she has a date picked. Yep, just getting straight. We had some people drop off, so it's actually going to be good to talk. So far, we're 1:30. We started with 1:30, so now we're 1:29. And we have, but we're net equal because we have one coming out. Kind of the annual battle. So, I think when I started here at 1:52. It's just, our population demographic right now. So, not anything you can do about it. Okay, if you will make your way back to your tables. And we'll have Philip BANKHEAD come up, and he will lead us in our invocation, pledge, and national anthem.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. You probably received a notice about Hank Gaines passing, past Rotarian, a longtime member here. His service, they've announced now, is going to be next Wednesday, a couple of weeks, September 10th, at HPUMC, Cox Chapel, at 1 o'clock. Is that right, Fred? Okay, great. Any other concerns we ought to share or want to share? Yes, Mark.
I mentioned my friend and business partner last week. Unfortunately, things are not looking very good, so if you could just keep this family in your prayers, they're probably going to take him off life support this week.
Sorry to hear that. Anyone else?
I called CC this morning, talked to him for a while. I said I was Richard Gilman, and he said, how's Roselle? So he says, he's as sharp as he was 25 years ago, but he said, I'm dying, but it's okay.
Thanks, Richard, for that report on CC Colley that we know has entered a hospice and kind of has a timeline now. Okay, if you'll join me in prayer. Actually, I want to take a second and say I've kind of just co-opted the words from a song that the chancel choir at our church sang. So Lee, you can join in this. I thought it had a lot of the themes of our four-way test of all that we think, say, and do. It's called Order My Steps. So if you'll join me in prayer. Dear Lord, order our steps in your word. Lead us, guide us every day. Send your anointing, Father, we pray. Humbly, we ask thee to teach us your will, and while you are working, help us be still. The world is ever changing, but God, you alone are constant. We desire to walk in a manner worthy of our calling. Guide our feet in your word. Order our tongues in your word. Wash our hearts in your word. And show us how to let our praises ring loudly in your word. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Amen. So if you'll join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Our pledge to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you, Philip. If Philip, would you mind doing the happy bucks? Does anyone have anything they'd like to share? Any good news?
Okay, great. Thanks. Thank you. Doug Means.
A few months ago, we were blessed to be great-grandparents for the first time. The little girl was born 3 months premature, weighed 1 pound 12 ounces, and with a lot of prayers and great medical care at Baylor Scott White McKinney, she is now home and she is doing fine.
That's great news.
Okay, all right. How about introduction of guests? If you are a guest, please stand.
Sure. Greg, you want to do the honors?
Well, we're honored today to have our district governor, assistant governor designated for Park Cities, Gary Kinley. Thank you, Gary, for coming.
Mark Casher.
Hopefully this is the last guest presentation for the awesome Renee Santana, who is going to be a member soon. So please welcome Renee Santana.
Thank you, Renee. We're looking forward to you joining, and thank you, Gary. I think I first met Gary at Pets. I know we sat together this year. Did we also sit together last year? I think so. Yep. Thank you for joining us today. Mark Neese with our Marketplace Advertiser.
Okay, see if I can get this to work right. I have to operate things from up here too. So, our marketplace advertiser today is Vista Bank. With a rich 113-year history of entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs, Vista Bank is headquartered in Dallas and serves North Central and West Texas markets, as well as Palm Beach, Florida, through its 17 banking center locations and emerging digital presence. Operating more like a startup than a traditional bank, Vista Bank offers innovative solutions to personal and commercial clients while never sacrificing the top priority, putting people first. Vista Bank is consistently recognized regionally and nationally as a top-rated financial institution, leading commercial bank, best place to work, best leadership team, and best in customer service. So let's watch a short video.
Hello, Trouble. We've sparred once or twice before. Back in the days when you used to scare me. Now, I'm coming for you. Just to show you what I'm made of and who's in my corner. So go ahead, tell me I can't do it. Then watch me. Vista Bank. Entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
So if you're interested in banking with the best, please visit one of Vista Bank's locations or go to vistabank.com to speak with a banker today. And please join me in thanking Vista Bank, who is represented in our club by Scott McLaughlin, for their continued support. And that's it. Thanks.
All right, our raffle drawing. Who's got the tickets? So Mark, we have a raffle every week, so we're going to ask you to pick the winning ticket. The ticket ends in 023, 023. Someone's got to be a winner. Everybody check their tickets. It's up to $223. 023. So, all right, come on, Nate. Don't be bashful. Come on up. Let's see if he can win half of $223.
Okay. Okay. What do I gotta pick? Six of hearts.
Well, he won the 6 of hearts, but that means there's one less card in the deck for next week, and we'll try again. Now we've got some announcements. Holly wanted me to just remind you that we have a service project in September, and we're doing 2 back-to-back. So as you know, we've done our foot care clinic at the Austin Street Shelter, which we volunteer there. Wherein she's arranging for various healthcare professionals to come and wash feet, check the status of feet, but then we also provide shoes and socks. Now, and that date is September 27th. Now, we're trying something new this year. The Friday before, we're going to have a speaker from Austin Street. It's going to be very informal. We're going to come and eat like we normally do, and then the speaker's just going to kind of walk around and tell stories about what it's like to work and volunteer regularly at Austin Street. But while that speaker does that, we are going to pack. So they have little care packages. And so Holly is asking for the Friday 26th meeting if you have can consider bringing shower shoes, over-the-counter cold medicine, non-drowsy allergy medicine, sandwich bags, laundry detergent, travel size of any type of toiletry. So for those of you who take them from the hotel and have them stashed at home, bring them all that day. Lotions, razors, socks, or bars of soap. So if you can just kind of think about those, and I know she's going to send that out in an email, if you can start collecting those and bring them to, and that will be a service project we do during lunch on that Friday. Next Friday, we are not here because that's going to be our Labor Day, so don't show up next week. There's not going to be anybody here. And just so you know, our district awards banquet is September the 4th, and we have nominated several people from this club. So we'll find out if they have won. If you're interested, there's you can go to the district website and buy tickets. But keep on your calendar the 26th, which is our service day luncheon. The 27th is the actual foot care clinic day at Austin Street. So I am the chair for the day. About 20 years ago, I was telling Mark, about 20 years ago when we first moved to Texas, my family would go and kind of explore little towns all around the area just to see what was going on. And oftentimes when we drove into a town, especially if it was the county seat, what you saw was the huge courthouse as you were driving into town. But one time we were going to Mineral Wells and we're driving in and we're like, what is this structure? And so we drive up, we drive around it, we see the huge pipe going up the back. It's obviously abandoned. We're Googling it, we're intrigued, like how did this even come to be out here in Mineral Wells and what's its history? Well, today we have with us Mark Rawlings, who is the principal of Syndicated Contracting Services and is responsible for spearheading the constructive restoration of the Baker Hotel and Spa. In 1998, Mark's focus turned to the hotel industry, project managing the restoration of the historic Driscoll Hotel in Austin, and since then has followed suit with really a long list. I think it's actually in the hub of all the hotels that he has worked on. Having practical knowledge of how building systems should operate and integrate with one another, what types of systems ultimately will be the best in the building, and the staff who will be charged with maintaining it are just some of the many aspects he has to take into consideration. So if you will welcome Mark Rawlings.
Hello, everybody. I'm a restoration specialist. I'm not a professional speaker. You'll figure that out along the way, but glad to be here and share some of our story. So I became involved with the Baker in 2008. I got asked to come up and have a look at it by some guys that were seeing if it could be restored or not, and they had a third-party consultant come in as far as feasibility and said it could be done with the right operator and the right contractor. I'm not sure where this thing's supposed to be. So myself and Jeff Trigger were referred. Jeff used to manage the Adolphus here and then the mansion at Turtle Creek. And so I met him when I was doing the Driscoll. So we came up, took a look at it, said, it's worth it, let's do it, and joined the team. Then we've studied how to get the funding put together, which was the worst part of the puzzle. Fast forward to 2019, we got the funding put together, we bought the hotel, and COVID hit and the banks backed out. They said, dummy, nobody's lending money to hotels are closing. So there we sit with the hotel. We decided we'd just keep plugging along and the money will come. So we've done that since 2019, funding out of our own pockets and some other friends' private equity. Now our bank loan's once again approved. The USDA, who guarantees a loan, has approved it as well. Waiting on 7 groups of attorneys to agree on some language, but I think everybody's been through that before. We keep working every day, we keep making progress, but I really need to get the air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical going, and that's a lot more money than I've got in my bank account, so I'm not signing those contracts until I've got the bank's money to spend. But we make progress all the time, and really the way to see it is in some photos that I've taken. Yeah, with everything, you've got to tear things down to get rid of the uglies before you can put the pretties back. That's a picture of the day we were purchasing it. We didn't have shovels, we had sledgehammers. But you can see the piles of debris. The hotel was abandoned in '72. The people that were there were not going to get a deposit back, so they didn't clean it up. They just left all the nasty in there. So we had waded through the muck, and 960 roll-offs later, we have a clean house. Some of the treasures we find around the hotel, and we've had some donated back to us, but these will all be on display in a museum that we're going to have on site. This is another one of my treasure rooms. This is where I keep all the things organized, the light fixtures. You see a lot of those, but different various things. We keep them, we call them treasure rooms. We've got a big grant from the Historic Commission, and so I like to keep them happy. So this is the way we handle all the artifacts in the hotel. They're all cataloged. Everything that's there has got all the complete parts with it, so we know exactly what we have, and then that all will be reused in the future. You've got an old, the safety deposit box out of the spa on the right. In the center is a valet door, and the guest room doors were like that. They had a cabinet door on either side. You put your dirty clothes in your side during the night. Somebody comes by, opens up the other side, takes them downstairs, brings them back cleaned and pressed. Magic laundry box. Everybody should have one. They don't meet fire code, so we're not able to reuse them, so I'm going to kind of dummy up and see half a door that looks like that. That door belonged to Eileen Stringer. She's kind of a celebrity in Mineral Wells. She met her husband there in the 50s. They got engaged there in the 50s. He ran Fort Walters, which was the Army base there. But when she was in England, Queen Elizabeth did a call for someone to stand in for her official portraits, and Eileen was the body double for the Queen on numerous portraits. So it's the Queen's face on Ms. Stringer's body. She's 96. She's the last one to leave when it closed in '72. She gave me her key. I found her door and restored it so she could have a special moment with it. I'm determined she's the last one out. She's the first one in, but we got to hurry up and get going, get finished. Mr. Baker's bath accessories are what you see on the left. More of the plaster. We have Donald Trump in the house. If you look at the left-hand side, the 1920s versions, same hairs, same lips, and he's got a pierced ear just like Donald does now. So it's Spanish colonial revival is the style, so there's a lot of Mayan influences. But then in the center is the plaster work off of the lobby ceiling, which is the Archangel Michael taming the serpent. So if he's looking down on you while he's beating up the serpent, you should feel safe. The spa equipment was pretty interesting. On the left, it's the spa treatment doors, which had really weird caricatures. And on the right is a sweat box, a little personal sauna. Then in the middle is the more interesting stuff. The one with the hole in it was the colonic irrigation table. And the door said colonic irrigation, so I'm confident that wasn't where your face went. First instinct, anyway. But more of the treasures. The one on the right's the ticket booth from the Cloud Room. You used to come to a show and you'd have to buy a ticket to go in. We're not going to have that up in the ballroom. We got QR codes now, so that's going to be in the museum and gift shop. If you buy something, you'll purchase it from that cash transaction booth. I've got a few doors laying around. If anybody's going to be in the market, I've got 848 doors in one room. So we keep them all. We keep them cataloged. We organize them by the size they are, or which way they swing. So when moving forward, we'll get to use them for other things. The second from the left on the bottom is the valley door mock-up I did for the fire marshal and the historic commission, and they've both approved it, which it wasn't easy. This is the original grand piano out of the Baker lobby. It was found in 40 pieces and restored and went into private hands and got it donated back. So it currently sits in my ladies' parlor, but it'll go back to the hotel as soon as we're ready for it. I don't know how to play. I wish I did. The center is a bunch of the sinks, the lavatories, and I'm going to reuse 88 of those, and they'll be in public areas and some of the historic guest rooms. I'm using vanities that have countertops for you ladies that like implements and products and all that to lay around. I know better than to just give you a pedestal lab. Oddly, that's a potato peeler on the left, which is pretty industrial. A desktop printer in the center, as long as you have a huge desk. I can't tell from here what's on the right, but we've, to keep everything looking good, we don't want exposed conduit, so we emptied out the conduit. We pulled all the wire out of the building and replaced it with strings. We have tags on the end of the strings which tell us where it comes, where it goes. We've redesigned the electrical system to use all the existing conduit so nothing's strapped to the wall. We don't want to desecrate all the pretties. I've got 10 miles of string in there at this point, so every string's at least 3 wires, some of them up to 6. I broke a finger doing that too, so that wasn't very fun days for me. This is some of the cool innovations they had. When they wanted to put the hotel in Mineral Wells, the town said, sure, you can do it, but we don't have power on the grid, so if you want to have a hotel here, generate your own power. So they did. On the bottom right is the steam generator, steam boiler, and then down in the center at the bottom, that is the generator that powered the hotel. So they had their own wells, so they had their own water, and they burned their own trash, so they were off the grid before it was a thing. Some of the other equipment's laying around in there too. So there's an incinerator up top right. Bottom left is the refrigeration pumps. All this stuff's still sitting in there, so I'll do some private tours once we're open. I've got more room than I need down in the basement, so we'll show it off. It didn't hurt to keep. The laundry was interesting. This is the original laundry. The machine on the left, it's made of wood. It's a wood cypress washing machine, but it would only wash your clothes. You had to get your wet towels and sheets out of there and put them across the hall or across the little room there into the centrifugal spinner, so your spin cycle was a separate piece of equipment. So some big ladies down there doing that work. Some more of the pipe works of the building, and it's kind of like being in the Titanic. It's just there. So cleaned up now. You saw the dirty versions. This is the ground floor, so there's like It's kind of a mall entrance. We have retail on the ground floor, so you'll be able to have street presence and mall entrance. We'll operate a restaurant and a museum and a salon on that floor. But that's all versions, a cleaned up version for what you saw the best. Up on the lobby level, we have a ballroom. It's got Juliet balconies that overlook it, so it'll be a great place for the wedding photos, tossing the bouquet down, all that stuff. That ballroom we can actually put 700 people in. This is the main lobby, which is really cool. The lobby desk is on the right. We've gotten all the graffiti off it and cleaned up. And you can see the grand lobby upper left. It's like it is literally like being in the Titanic. It's all there. It's got great bones. It just needs some love. It's called the Brazzers Club. This is the fine dining room, and everything you see is plaster. There's no wooden studs, no wooden trim. This is all plaster. So we're going to be doing lots of fun with that. Up on the mezzanine level, we're going to have a lounge area. You can work on your laptop during the day, but in the evening, you'll be able to sit there and listen to music and get drinks and snacks. On the right, I'm showing where the rail is too low, but I don't alter rails that are historic because that really desecrates the history, but I can put things around them or on them. Instead of doing plexiglass, I took that rebar out of the bank vault of the Driscoll when we were restoring it, and I saved it, and so I'm going to put that bar across that doesn't touch the stuff below, and it gets the height that I need so everybody will be safe. And it's from 1885, so that makes it cool too. The spa. So yep, this is some of the spa areas. So we're going to have a fully functional spa. The whole second floor will be that. We've got everything designed and ready to go. It'll be really nice. Y'all should come and see it. I'm building one in the Crazy Water Hotel right now. That one will be open sooner. This is the guest room floors. This is the way the corridors look right now. We're leaving all the door pattern and frequency the same for the Historic Commission, and I've got some latitude to do things with the rooms. I'm making them twice as big as they were. This is a mocked up for floor plan room, so I took 2 rooms to make one, and you can see we've doubled the size, so it's like 480 square foot room, which is a good size room, and I made 2 bathrooms into one, so they got decent size. They were tiny. So up on the floors, this is original paint, and it was painted yellow, and then they did a stencil roller which had a pattern on it, and they would roll that second color over it. The wood that's around it, I framed it so people can see what it used to look like. We're not doing that on our walls, but I have picture frames of it everywhere. That's wood we've taken out of other parts of the hotel that we built the frame out of, so we want everybody to see a portal to what it looked like in the past. And then on the right's one of those valet doors without the air vent on the top. The presidential suite, not the nicest one, but it's pretty good. It'll be fun. But you can see it's cleaned up and ready to go. Then we've got what was a gymnasium up on the 10th floor. They played basketball and volleyball up there. All the upper windows were boarded up, and it wasn't volleyball like the girls play these days because they would knock it a few blocks through the window. But we don't need a gym up there, so we're calling it the Grand Salon. It'll be a little ballroom that'll handle 75. I'm taking out half the rooms on 10 and half the rooms on 11 to make more breakout space and smaller conference space because we have a big ballroom on the bottom, a big ballroom on the top, so I needed some in-betweener. The Baker Suite is awesome. It's over the top, so you can see it's got hand-carved stuff in there. We got a nice fireplace. It's 2,200 square feet, so it's going to be really nice. On the left and then the bottom right, I guess you would say, this was built during Prohibition, and apparently Mr. Baker liked to drink, so he had a hooch stash. So in the back of his pantry was a secret door that was loaded with a spring, and you open it up, and the shelves were in there for him to have his little liquor stash. It was my favorite find in the whole hotel was that he had him a cool little stash. This is the old elevator equipment. We're in the process of changing to get new elevators. These are the hoists. The one up top on the right-hand side, that's a new one up there. It's 5 times as fast, twice as strong, and 10,000 pounds lighter than the ones that you see down below it. We've taken one apart and gotten it down in pieces, but once it's running, then we'll use it to get the other ones down. This is the elevator where we took apart the one. There was also DC inverters. The hotel generated its own power. It was AC, but it was very surgy. Wouldn't have been a good ride, so they had AC to DC inverters up by the elevator equipment, which would change it to DC, and then the motors ran on DC, so it'd be nice and smooth. This is up in the bell tower on the way to the top. The stairs on the left, those are cool. They were just made with a center pipe, and then each wedge-sized piece was dropped down on the pipe and spun into place, and locked with some bolts, so they could have built the stairs in a day or less. In the bell tower, there's never a bell. It's just got lights, but it's pretty cool. I lighted up different colors for different reasons and different seasons. We've restored all 997 windows. You can see on the left, she was missing a lot of teeth. On the right's the after version of that. Every window is back exactly where it came from. Every piece of trim's exactly where it came from. We labeled every opening. We labeled the top sash and bottom sash and all the trim. Took them to a shop in the hotel where we did all the asbestos abatement, then another shop in the hotel where we replaced the bad wood, another one where we primed everything before we put the glass in, then we put the glass and the window glazing, and then we sent it to another shop to dry, and then we painted them before we put them back in, because the window glazing wasn't going to be able to hold up to the UV till we got around to painting them if it was outside. The boiler flue is that big ugly pipe on the backside, but we'll use it as a boiler flue, and the Historic Commission likes it. Not my favorite. So we're going to have the pool grounds are going to be really cool. We have the first Olympic-sized swimming pool in a hotel in Texas, and it's the second pool at a hotel in America. The hotel was originally being built on the right side of the lot, and Mr. Baker went to a hotel in California, and it had a pool out front. It was the first one with a pool, and he got inspired. And the hotel was already up to the ground being built up. And he said, "Stop, move the hotel to the west. I want a pool out there." The pool's completely suspended. You can walk under an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Okay, I said it didn't have bells, but I lighted up. So that was breast cancer month. It goes pink. Blue for autism month. When the football team wins a game, I make it blue. Or I make it red, sorry. The center is my one set of plans for the baker. That's just all divided up by what trades they are. So that's some of my fun I'm going through right now because we're rerunning the numbers. The left is my specifications. I have 560 pages of plans and 1,580 pages of specifications that I left behind to come talk to you. This is a lot better than doing that. I've got to go back to that, but at least I got a break. I started doing it at 3:30 this morning, so. But here's a little bit just about the hotel, what's coming, what's going. There's the social media links. I've done a lot of social media for it. I've got to get back to doing it again, but it's been very successful. We've had 330 million views last year. We're the second most followed historic hotel in America. I don't know why people want to watch it, but we just do it. But we're gonna get back to cranking out some more of that. But it's on all the different social medias I don't know much about. I just talk and they film me. And I think that is it. So, anybody got any questions? I can work on it. Oh yeah. So the town was built about the water, so it's the crazy water. And back in the 1800s. They had a family that moved there and settled there, and for like 4 years, they were hauling water from the Brazos, and then they decided they would drill their own well, and they drilled their well, and one of the people in the family had rheumatism, and there was another one that was having memory issues, and they were drinking the water kind of obsessively, and all of a sudden they got better. You didn't have a diagnosis with letters back then. I got ADHD and some OCD things going on, but then you were just kind of crazy or you were normal. So all of a sudden the crazy people started getting a little more normal, and comes to find out that the water's really high in lithium, and it's got bicarbonate, high levels of bicarbonate. So it was good for the gut, and it was good for mental health. So that's how the hotels came about. In 26, they built a crazy water hotel, which is 6 stories, really nice, but that was owned by some guys in the Metroplex, and the locals were like, "Why are they taking all the money back to the Metroplex?" So the people of means decided to pitch in. We'll just build a hotel twice as tall, twice as nice, twice as many rooms, and we'll turn the butt end of it over to that other hotel. So they did. They got with T.B. Baker and decided they were going to build this hotel, and they did. And so it's a wild ride to get there, but they got there. And it was operational until '72. That's when the Army base shut down, and really the town kind of dried up, which left us a lot of cool buildings. So there's like 150 historic buildings downtown, too, that'll come along with it. And we've been working on those.
Hey, Mark, I'm over here.
Oh, hey.
You're probably one of my favorite people that has ever spoke at the Rotary Club. Thank you so much for being here. I'm blown away, first of all, by your intelligence and the levels in which you're able to operate. I have so many questions, but here's my top 2 questions. First of all, how did you learn this? How did you learn how to protect the integrity, to save things, to make sure you reuse things? That's not an easy thought process when you're dealing with so many different things? And the second of all, can we come to the grand opening party, please?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to say how I learned. I worked on family homes when I was young. My great-grandfather owned and willed down a lot of historic homes in Northeast Texas, so I grew up working on them. And my dad built houses when I was in high school, and I went to college to go be a surgeon. I was never doing this stuff again. Unfortunately, my dad passed away a couple of years later, and I had to go back to support my family, so I did what I knew how to do. Taking care of things and being organized with it, I don't know, it's just in my nature, and I care about the building, and I care about the history. And I've been doing historic hotels since '97, so it's just ingrained in me that you honor the stuff, you take care of it. They did a great job building it when it was built in the 26 to 29. My job is to make it look like it did back then. I just want to duplicate and honor them with what goes back. And that's keeping everything that we can keep and reusing everything that we can reuse. And then come to the grand opening. Hell yeah. If we're going to have like a week of grand openings, I've got a bunch of musician friends, and so we're going to have like a week-long party. Anticipating just a little less than 3 years. So the bankers all agree on some language. The money goes into my bank where I can actually write checks on it. It's not just approved and sitting there. I need about 32 months to put it together. And I'm ready. Yeah, I came there 6 years ago to do a 3-year project. But I like it, so I stayed.
You mentioned asbestos abatement, and it was just you mentioned it in passing, but I took my grandson there about 15 years ago, and you could just walk in past the chain link fence, and I thought nobody's ever gonna do anything with this. And I assumed that asbestos was rampant in that building. Was there much? It doesn't. Maybe if you're built with wood and some of the other materials, it wasn't so bad.
I guess everything's relevant. Wasn't a lot for what it could have been. It was $2.5 million worth of it to go away, but which is a lot of money. But it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. The pool. Is the old pool going to be there? I mean, do you have to replaster it, or what's the process there?
We're totally restoring the pool. So it's not a plaster pool. It's completely concrete. So it's coated concrete.
Okay.
But we are going to restore it just back like it was before and keep it there. We're going to probably go ahead and do it early so we can give something to the town so they can come enjoy it along the way. Not my favorite thing to have a pool in the middle of my job site, but
I got to go there in the middle 50s, and I was pretty impressed with it. It was a beautiful, beautiful hotel.
You got to see it before I did.
Yeah.
So you may have already said this. When was it built?
It was built end of 25 and opened in 29, 2 weeks after the stock market crashed.
Oh, great, yeah.
We bought it and COVID hit, so there's consistency going on.
Well, I was aware of your what you were going to speak about, and I've often wondered, has there been other restoration attempts on this building, correct?
There's not. We're the one since 2008, so if you've heard about it, there was someone in the 80s that said they were going to do it, but they never bought it, never made any progress. They sold off a bunch of stuff.
It's always been a bizarre thing to see, to drive into this little town, and boom, there's this building. There was a mention of asbestos. You also probably have to deal with lead.
Deal with everything.
A lot of lead.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
We get a lot of everything.
Yes, I'm sure
Yeah,
you do.
all the flavors.
Right, and also at that period of time, mineral springs were very popular. There's warm springs in Georgia. There's hot springs in Arkansas, and so forth and so on. And that was the big draw. I mean, I know the Baker got a lot of celebrities. A lot of people from Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. And so what are you going to do with it now?
We're going to turn it into a fully operational hotel and spa, make it a destination again. And in fact, that piano I showed you, I've got a picture that's coming to me of Clark Gable playing it with Judy Garland sitting next to him at the hotel. Lawrence Welk got his start at the hotel. We've had tons of celebrities, presidents, everybody used to come there. It was a place to go. Yep. And they used to have 500,000 visitors a year come to Mineral Wells.
Well, best of luck. Great.
Thanks.
Couple questions. How many hotel rooms will there be when the remodel is complete? And then also, how will y'all, in a small town like Mineral Wells, how will you face the challenge of staffing a hotel this size? And what is the long-term marketing strategy to keep this hotel in operation for the long term?
Well, we'll have 166 guest rooms. It was 450 original, and I'm making every one of them at least twice as big, and then taking some for conference space, which is what we're going to do. We're going to be like a Swiss Army knife. We're going to do a lot of executive retreats. We're going to have, big meetings. We're going to have a lot of weddings. Every little girl that's from around there wants to get married there, and that's good business. Budgets are blown on weddings and funerals, so I'm not doing funerals, but we'll take the wedding money. But Mineral Wells has recently been designated the wellness capital of Texas, so we've been working on getting the town to come up in advance of the hotel coming online, because the hotel is going to be the cherry on the top, and we can't have we couldn't just do the hotel and not care about the town. It would be an island. People love come to the hotel, don't leave the hotel. The town's crap, and they're not coming back. So we've been busy doing a whole revitalization of the city and working really hard to get the image up on it. So it'll work. We've had studies done. I've got enough people that are wanting to book the first 3 years right now. So I don't need to worry about selling anything for the first 3 years. So, but we're confident we're going to have the people come.
Was there ever a treasure you found that you almost put in your truck instead of the catalog?
My house is full of treasures. They're going back to the museum. They're going back to the hotel. It's supposedly one of the most haunted hotels in Texas, if not the world. And yeah, I don't want any bad juju going on. There was 29 recorded deaths in the hotel, so it's more than most places. Most of them came there for the magical healing waters, and it didn't save them. There's some interesting ones. Mr. Baker lived on 11. His mistress was on 7. He and the wife were on 11. The mistress was on 7. She went out of her window to her death. Some say it was because he wouldn't leave his wife and she jumped, and then somebody else was like, maybe Miss Baker had her tossed. Could have happened, but there was a bellman that got cut in half by the elevator. Another girl decided she would take the shortcut to the pool and tried to jump from the roof to the pool. She came up way short. But then it's a bunch of boring ones, so I've never seen a ghost. I do all these old hotels, but maybe I get a hall pass. I'm helping put a bunch of money into them and fixing them up real nice, and if you scare me off, then I'm just not going to be there. So if I was doing your house for free, you'd probably feed me every once in a while and give me a beer, so maybe I get a hall pass.
I was just wondering, with the fix-up, are you going to stay in the period when you do all the guest rooms? Period wallpaper and carpet and all that?
Yeah, we didn't have wallpaper in that period in that hotel anyway. But yeah, we definitely honor everything very historic in all the public areas. The guest rooms and the spa, we have to go a little offline with that because you wouldn't like the amenities they had back then. The spa looked like an Eastern European slasher movie. And the guest rooms were tiny and they were not grand, except for the suites. So yeah, the motif will try to be in tune with then, but it wasn't the most attractive period in the world. But we keep the public areas as pristine as possible.
We took a girls' trip to Mineral Wells. It was fun. We just went last year. We stayed at the Crazy Water, and they have a really nice setup for shopping for those of your shoppers. I guess the Crazy Water, if you want to go, let's go. It's fun. Will the Crazy Water benefit from the Baker, or do you think, and what other plans do you have in Mineral Wells to kind of jazz it up?
Well, starting next month, I'm starting construction on a spa in the basement of the Crazy Water. So I'm building a 12,000 square foot spa down there. We're partners. We're not competition. So when we're having big weddings, we're going to need all of the rooms that we can get between the two. But we'll have services, and they'll have services, and we'll just share. We'll share guests, because some days somebody's going to call in. It's going to be more appropriate to be at one property or the other. Our company manages both of them, so it's a symbiotic relationship between us.
What other hotels have you been approached to possibly? Because I'm assuming your resume, precedes you. So, what other hotels have you been looking at, or are you looking at? Because I always think of, like, if anybody knows the Shamrock Hilton that was in Houston where I grew up, it had the world's largest swimming pool. You could put, water ski boats in it, and we went there as kids, and it was just massive. It was like well over a couple.
Now you're tempting me into something else.
Yeah, but it was torn down. So I'm wondering other hotels that are in the target of being torn down that you've been approached
So I went to high school in Brownwood, and in Brownwood is another hotel that was built by Wyatt Hedrick, the same architect that did the Baker. It was built and opened in the 30s, and it's been abandoned since the 80s, and it's 12 stories downtown. And I went to high school there, so I've been getting crap from my friends for years about doing other hotels, and why don't I come do my hometown one? And one of my business partner on the Baker and we were talking about different businesses downtown and what should go in here and what should go in there, and I went to Brownwood for a high school reunion, and went around the town, and it's like there was all these cool businesses because it has already been revitalized. And then I'm like, let's go on a road trip. So we went down there, and we're looking at businesses down there. We had a few drinks, and we bought the hotel. So that's my reparations for my poor behavior in high school, is we're going to go ahead and fix up the Brownwood Hotel. Starting to put the money part together, which not coming out of just my pocket, but we're going to start working on the funding for it. So that's my intention, and I'm old. I mean, that's hopefully my last one. At least I'll consult on other ones, but I'm ready to go out and sit on the porch like an old hound dog, I think, sometime soon.
So with sort of like this whole trend of filming movies in and around Dallas, Fort Worth, I guess Billy Bob Thornton's been hanging out, and Knox Henderson, have you talked to any of the movie people about shooting scenes out there?
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan's folks, they're very interested in my house too. But we've looked in the Baker for stuff. They think on future episodes that can come into play, and then they're definitely working on something that's going to be using my house in it. So, also they filmed it. They were filming a television show about me doing this stuff. I had a contract with Lionsgate, and after 16 months of being filmed, the climate in Hollywood's changed a little. So they told me whenever it was okay to portray somebody like me, then it'd be okay to start firing it back up. But in the meantime, it's on hold till the climate in Hollywood changes. You can read into that what you want, but that's what I was told. I was too white, too male, and too straight to have a TV show go out right now. It's okay. It wasn't my favorite thing anyway. I had a weird camera crew around me all the time, and I do hotels. I wasn't really made for Hollywood, as you can see. So, but I knew it'd put heads in beds later, so I was willing to do whatever, take it for the team. But so you may end up seeing some of that.
When I guess you got into it, or you probably investigated it before you got into it, what was the overall structure? I mean, obviously you see the pictures, you know, some of the elements have gotten, some things have decayed, but the structure itself, like, did the integrity hold, or was there a lot of work there?
No, it's golden. There's no cracks in any of the masonry anywhere in the building, and it was built without expansion joints, which any engineer would tell you that's impossible to do. But the slabs look like they were poured last week. It's incredible structure. For it to sit 50 years abandoned, it's unbelievable. It wasn't abandoned. It was abandoned by people that cared. It was still a place that was habitated by people that like to go steal metals and do their other weird things inside there. I think the Meth Olympics were held there a couple times. I mean, we ran a few out, so we were glad to see them go.
All right, well, thank you.
Pleasure.
And Mark, as a way to say thank you to our speakers, we place a book in your honor in a local elementary school. Thank you very much for coming today. And Daphne, I believe you are going to do our four-way test, if you'll work your way up.
Hi, please join me for the four-way test. We say or do first. Is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you.